Hey Bookies, welcome back to the Ratchet Temple. Y'all, honestly, y'all almost didn't get this review. This episode was so boring, but we're gonna get into it because I'm committed. I also have 4 new followers. Hey, just so you know, we're best friends now, so welcome. You're invited to my wedding whenever I find Bae. But yeah, we're gonna talk about episode 4 of Ready to Love season 9. Let's hop right into it. Oh, and disclaimer, y'all, I don't have OWN, okay? So I watch the show how I watch the show. This week's episode was very blurry, so the screenshots are going to look like I took them on my flip phone, but y'all, I will paint the picture, okay? Don't worry about it. So in the first scene, the ladies meet with Tommy in the lounge, and honestly, it was just giving like rich auntie vibes. Like, I just loved it in there. Everybody looked beautiful. The space was beautiful. The furniture is just very stylish and aesthetic. Tommy tells everyone, hey, this week we're focusing on intimacy, so take your date somewhere intimate or to something that means a lot to you. Tommy then introduces us to Justin, who is a 34-year-old gym teacher from Mississippi. The ladies really seem to like him, or at least they're liking how he's looking so far, and we'll see him go on some more dates later in the episode. In the next scene, we have Alexis, Rashina, Lamar, Lil Will, and Big William. Alexis is a referee, and as she's mentioned, she's super athletic before, so this is her intimacy, people really getting to know her on this level. And I have to mention a slight side note, y'all, the top of Rashina's wig gave me indigestion. It's crazy because the platinum blonde is actually so flattering on her. She's so beautiful, but baby, the top of that wig is crazy. She should have wore a hat for sure. Okay, y'all, ignore the 2 megapixel iPhone 1 graphics in these screenshots. But yeah, again, painting a picture. The guys and the girls play basketball. I don't even know who wins, but what I do know is William was out there moving them hips, okay? I thought he would be a lot more juicy and slow than he is, but yeah, he was sinking the shots. I was like, okay, all right, let me put some respect on William's name. So after the game, the group starts to split up to have their individual dates. And we have Rashina, Lamar, and Will on one side trying to talk about their relationship style and their intimacy preferences. And of course, Lamar cannot be bothered to talk about anything but sex. And then we have Will on the other hand, being socially awkward because he always lets his intrusive thoughts come out of his mouth. And he says, well, between the two of us, which one would you pick? Yeah, Lil Will comes across to me as very insecure and needing a lot of reassurance for his ego. Because remember last episode when he came up on Vanessa, he started fishing for compliments. Instead of just saying, I think you're beautiful, I want to talk to you, I'm interested in you, he is begging her to say that she's interested in him. So I just think that Will is a bit immature, and I think every woman but Alexis can see that. Speaking of Alexis, she's having a one-on-one with William. They're just talking about growing, learning from your mistakes, and she tells us she's actually really happy to see this serious side of William because she knows he's a comedian, but I guess that he tends to try to crack jokes all the time with the ladies. So it's putting him in a different light for her. I definitely wouldn't say it's romantic. It just looks really friendly. Like I said last episode, I think William is just a generally good guy, so he's gonna get along with the ladies. I forgot the screenshot, but in the next scene, we see Alexis, Lamar, and Will, and she's asked them, what is intimacy to you? And Will says intimacy starts with God, and dope, but what does that mean? Because I feel like a lot of people will say, oh, I'm a child of God, or they'll say I'm in therapy, but are you actually practicing what you preach? Because you can put God first and still be toxic. You can go to therapy and not respect other people's boundaries. Tell me more about what this actually looks like in your life. Anyway, Lamar answers the question next, and of course he has nothing to offer but physical intimacy, sex. There's nothing else to this man, and honestly, it's beyond I'm not triggered or angry by him. I just find him pathetic. And not in the sense that having a high sex drive or being horny is wrong, because trust me, I've been there. But I feel like at the point that you're not picking up on social cues that people are uncomfortable, like, it really just shows me how impulsive and animalistic his drive is. And honestly, as a woman, I don't feel safe around men who compulsively talk about sex. Like, no, thank you. Anyway, in the next scene, we have Rashina and Justin. They're meeting at the dog park. Justin has his maybe husky named Riley, and Rashina has a cute little white dog. I forgot the name. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Nothing really happens on this date, but Riley making a fool out of Justin. And Justin saying that he doesn't have kids, and that he's okay if he doesn't have them in the future. So at the conclusion of the date, they realize they really like each other and they're excited to see each other again. Rashina says she feels like he's going to be her person on this journey, and we'll see, Rashina. You low-key like everybody, but we'll see. Now, tell me this, y'all. Tell me if I'm tripping, but honestly, if I was Rashina, I would have been a little bit turned off by Justin not being able to get control of his dog. Depending on how long he's had him, really it's about energy. Like, are you not assertive enough for the dog to listen to you? Like, what's really going on? Why is she pulling you every which way? I don't really like too much how that look, okay? But he ain't my man, so moving on. We have Laylan and Tommy. They're meeting up because, long story short, Laylan is going through some things, and she's like, I don't want to leave the journey, but, I am kind of overwhelmed. And Tommy says, well, basically, you don't have to go on any dates this week. Speaking of dates, we're now at Chaz's house, and he has invited Patrice, Alonzo, Koshia, and Vanessa over. Patrice has actually taken it upon herself to invite Justin, which I find hilarious. Patrice said, who all over there? Okay, let me bring my own boy toy. I love it. I love that for Patrice. But as far as this date went, Zoe apologizes to Koshia, as he should. She gracefully forgives him. Everybody plays a game of dominoes. They're having some good, competitive fun. Zoe goes and confesses to Patrice that she is still his number one. And she loves that he makes her laugh, and she likes him too. When everybody leaves, we have Vanessa and Chaz sitting on the couch, staring into each other's eyes, professing how happy they are to be with each other in the moment. It was romantic. It was also a little corny. It was a little lifetimey, but it's okay. I really appreciate some good, wholesome attraction with all of these other horny men out here. Baby, speaking of horny men, we now have the date between Maya and Lamar. How Lamar managed to get so many dates this week blows me. Y'all, where is Dominique? Where is Dominique, the one that wants 10 kids? We have not seen him since, I feel like episode 1. Anyway, Maya is doing a photo shoot for her waist trainer line, and I'm like, come on, product placement. Ooh, we love a smart baddie. Yeah, that was a great idea. She sits down with him after her shoot, and she asks him, who is Lamar outside of that physical or sexual attraction? How do I get to know you emotionally, intellectually, spiritually? And instead of taking the opportunity to really become vulnerable, he just reminds her, well, the physical is really important, so we can't just gloss over it, because I've been with all types of women and I'm very sexual in nature. And she tries to very politely tell him, your lifestyle comes across as intimidating, basically. And he's just like, I don't care, you got to get with it or get lost, because I be horny and I got to bust these nuts. That's basically what the conversation was. I'm paraphrasing, but the energy was that. And to make matters worse, he asked this grown woman, what was the freakiest thing you did in high school? The amount of red flags in the world are not enough. We need more red flags. Isn't he a coach? Does he not work with children? I am literally vomiting as I just think about it. I am trying to tell myself that he just is a person who has a crazy prom night story. He brought up losing his virginity on prom or something like that. And I'm like, maybe he just wants to tell his story, so he's bringing it up in this awkward way. But honestly, straight to jail. Send that nigga to jail. Clink, clink. I'm sorry. I don't care. Maya escapes this date safely, and she's able to arrange a date between herself, Mika, Jonathan, and LaRon. Long story short, Maya and LaRon actually have a very cute chemistry. And I did like this date because I feel like we got a better understanding of LaRon. He says that he is, the party guy, but he wants to be party dad too. He's like, I want to, barbecue for my kids. I want to have game nights. I want to be friends with the neighbors. And that I do actually find endearing. Because I'm an introvert with extrovert tendencies. And an introvert dating another introvert doesn't work because who is going to push us to get outside? Like, we need to leave the house, but you don't want to go and I don't want to go. Somebody got to get the ball rolling, baby. And I need you to have a social life of your own because I don't want to be with you all the time. I want you to go out and be with your friends so I can stay home and read my books and dance in the mirror and drink my wine and watch my shows. Okay, you have to leave sometimes. But yeah, these two are really feeling each other. And Maya seems to think that they could be the next Obamas. And I'm a little confused. I feel like we can pedal back a little bit. It's giving me new and refined Gucci and Keisha Kayor. But, I don't want to poo-poo on her dreams. So y'all got it, sis. I'm recognizing I didn't get the screenshot for Mika and Jonathan either, but honestly, it really wasn't worth talking about. The two of them are interested in each other. Jonathan is guarded and Mika is thrown off that he had an ex-wife and she wasn't just a baby mama. Anyway, the group of ladies meet in Tommy's lounge for, deliberations of who's going home. I'm honestly not about to go through all the likes and dislikes. I'm here for the mess, okay? First of all, Leyland is leaving. She's going home. Bye, Leyland. So anyway, Tommy is asking the ladies, like, who are y'all not feeling this week? Everybody says their spiel. It's mostly Lamar and Will. And Koshia is like, yeah, I'm not feeling Will, for reasons I've stated before. And I found out that Alexis has been going back and telling him what we've talked about in the ladies' lounge as far as what the ladies think about him. So Alexis starts to defend herself and she's like, look, Koisha. And this is where I saw that Koshia goes from 0 to 100 real quick. That's why she's always walking away, because she's trying not to choose violence. She said, my name is Koshia. Okay. Ooh. All right. Alexis goes on basically to say, I just told him to paint his own narrative and not let y'all, essentially call him a pervert. Well, apparently many of the ladies feel like Will is too lustful. We know Koshia and Mika have told us since the first episode that he was very touchy, he was very forward and inappropriate. But instead of actually listening to these ladies' experience, Alexis sits on her high horse of light skin, curly hair, and masculinity. And she's like, well, they don't do that with me. They don't do that with me because they know who not to try. They know who to play with. They do it to you because you operate in sexual energy, because you try to holler at men in front of them. And the ladies are appalled. Like, you can see just a collective, what is she talking about on this side of the couch? And all I can say to you, Alexis, is that I really pray that the day you learn the lesson that it could happen to anybody. You are not special because you are petite or pretty or Christian or covered or modest. Like, literally anybody can be a victim of predatory behavior, and to discount those ladies' story like that is just, it's very disappointing, because I did like Alexis, but this just lets me know how male identified she is. So back to the scene. Koshia is basically saying that Alexis is a messy heifer and she threatens to slap her. And what's hilarious to me is how proud Mika is and how concerned Vanessa looks. So she's cursing, she's hollering, she gets up to, gather herself, and Mika and Rashina go to comfort her. She just needed to, take a woosah real quick, because I really do believe she wanted to slap Alexis. But she comes and sits back down, and basically everybody decides who they're going to send home. Can I just say, I love Tommy. Like, I like what he represents, but I honestly feel like they might need a new host, because the way that there was no accountability after that blow up, like, he literally was just like, hey, be respectful. Like, huh? Are we going to talk about Koshia not having tantrums like a 5-year-old every 10 seconds? Are we going to talk about Alexis and her not having the right to invalidate somebody else's story just because it's not her own? No? Anyway, the final dates take place. We have William and Alexis and Lamar and Koshia in another place. Damn, y'all, I don't have the screenshots for Will and Alexis either. I'm sorry, y'all. It's been a very long week and I was tweaking today. But anyway, Alexis is sitting down with Will and she starts to snitching on the ladies. She says, look, they find you a bit too lustful, and somebody said that you be sleeping on floors and they think that you're unstable. Let me find out you are messy, Alexis, because why did that need to be told? Anyway, what happened in the ladies' lounge, I didn't mention it, but Patrice said that she was on the phone with him when he was on the way to a showing or something related to like the real estate, but that essentially he was about to lay out a blanket on the floor and go to sleep. So I don't know. But Will is pissed immediately. He gets defensive. He's like, look, you can eliminate me. I ain't never slept on no floor, and I don't want to be on a show where women are being negative. And I'm like, damn, my guy, like, there's that insecurity. Because if it was a misunderstanding, like, that's all it is. But it's very important to him that he's being perceived a specific way. And that's not to say that, you know, we wouldn't all be a little sensitive or be taken aback if people are talking behind our back. But, like, if it's not true, then it's not true. What's the big deal? But Alexis tells him that he's still ready to love, and he literally plots his revenge in the confessional. He's like, my mind is on war. And I'm just like, yikes. Like, what a bitter little man. Anyway, let's jump over to Lamar and Koshia. Basically, she says the women think that you're too risque, and he's like making her spell it out. Like, what do you mean? Boy, you know what is going on. So she says, like, they think you're too sexual, and he basically insinuates that the women need to grow up and that they just need to be more open. She eventually tells him, you're not ready to love, and even starts to encourage him, like, you know, one day you'll find your person. And this man looks her in the face and says, change your tone. You talking to me like a teacher. And baby, Koshia did what she is famous for doing. She grabbed them roses so quick and dipped. I love Koshia because I love a dramatic exit. I don't have to be subjected to this, baby. I'm out. So we see her little ponytail going out of the door, and that was the end of the episode. You know what? Maybe this episode was better than I thought. I did smoke a little bit while I was recording this, but I have been cracking up. So we'll give it some extra points, okay? You get 10 extra points. Ready to love. I'll see y'all for baddies eventually. Have a beautiful week. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Bye.